Kids, tonight we're going to talk about Carnival Corporation, Alan Chuck Travel, RuPaul, Logo TV, the whole 9 yards. And there's a reason this is a rant, and I'm pissed. And I want to talk about this with everyone all over the world. So listen up, kids. Logo TV, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Logo TV, it is basically the gay channel for people with expanded cable. It caters to a gay audience. It has gay commercials. It has gay sponsors. It has gay shows or gay-friendly shows or shows that gays like to watch. Okay, so it's basically the gay channel. Now, I know a lot of you think that Bravo is the gay channel, but officially, Logo is the gay channel. So, although gays watch Bravo too. But I digress. Logo TV has shows on it that are produced by a very famous drag queen named RuPaul, who's known all over the world. And she has been for decades. Famous singer, performer, female impersonator, has been there, done that, got the t-shirt, been in movies, hit songs, everything. RuPaul's done everything. Well, RuPaul also now hosts and produces 3 shows for Logo. RuPaul's Drag Race, which is now going into season 5. RuPaul's Drag U, which is, I believe, 2 or 3 seasons in. And we just had the first season of RuPaul's All-Stars, which just finished a few days ago. Actually, yesterday. Now, for months now, they have been selling this cruise for people that are fans of RuPaul's drag queens. Now, any drag queen that gets on television on RuPaul's show instantly becomes famous, and they get booked all over the world to do shows and events and everything else, and good for them. And they've worked hard, and they do work hard for their tips, for their money, for their bookings, and they work hard online, on social media, keeping their fans tight and informed on where they are and what they're doing and how much they appreciate their fans. Some of these queens are better at it than others, but many are amazing successes. Some not so much, but most have been pretty amazing in their success after the show. Now, Al and Chuck Travel is a large gay travel agency. It is very ingrained in the gay culture. It also is a sponsor of RuPaul's shows and Logo TV, and is very involved with the gay community because it books gay travel. It doesn't, I mean, I'm sure you could book travel with Al and Chuck and not be gay, but they cater mostly to a gay clientele. Al and Chuck Travel gives away all kinds of things and does all kinds of charitable, wonderful things for the gay community, and has been for a long time. So they're not amateurs. They've been in the business for a while. Now, next we go on to Carnival Corporation. Carnival Corporation is by far the largest cruise ship company in the industry. And besides the Carnival brand, they also now own the Princess brand, the Holland American brand, the Cunard brand. They own P&O brand, Iberia brand, and Adia brand, and Costa brand cruises, and Seabourn cruises as well. So they have this wide variety of cruise offerings from all different price levels and ranges. Now, their flagship Carnival brand ships tend to be the lower scale ships. They're called the fun ships, and they tend to attract the less well-to-do, and they people tend to be a bit younger, or families with children, etc., etc. They have water slides and the whole 9 yards. So that's Carnival's claim to fame. It's not Carnival brand. The Carnival brand is not the fancy dining like you get on Cunard or Holland America. It is more low scale. However, now here's some history for you. Disney Corporation, Disneyland and Disney World have been having gay days for decades now. And every once in a while they've had a little hiccup, but for the most part Disney now knows how to deal with gays. Even when straight people show up on gay day, Disney deals with it pretty well. And there have been gay cruises going on now for decades. And yes, every once in a while there's a little wrinkle or a little snarl, but once you get a boat full of lesbians or a boat full of gay men on a cruise to have a good time, guess what they're going to do? They're going to have a good time. Now, Logo TV, together with Alan Chuck Travel and RuPaul's drag queens, all got together for this big cruise adventure that's supposed to leave Sunday. Today is like Tuesday. And it's going to leave Sunday. And it's supposed to be on a Carnival ship leaving out of South Florida. Now, supposedly, a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of famous drag queens that have worked very hard to get their fans to book, because they can have meets and greets and all this kind of stuff, and they'll all be performing. And obviously, the more people that show up, the more people they're likely to get tips from, which is how they make their living. And it's a big deal. And it's a big deal for their fans, because their fans love to have contact with their drag queens and talk to them and get to know them and get to know the person behind the persona they see on TV and all that other stuff. Gay people are very engaging in that way. Today, unfortunately, and this is what boggles my mind. Now, I am almost positive that Carnival Corporation has had one of these gay cruises in one of their cruise lines at least once in the past. I could be wrong. But I know one thing. I took a Princess cruise back in the 1970s, and Carnival hired gay people at that point, back in the 70s. I'm sorry, Princess did, back in the 70s, which is now part of Carnival. And I'm sure Carnival did too, because there's one thing about gay men. You can say a lot of crap about gay men, but gay men know this. Good customer service always pays off. Which is why the likes of Disney always likes to hire gay men. Which is why the likes of airlines always like to hire gay men. Which is why cruise ships like to hire gay men. Which is like why retailers like to hire gay men. Because gay men are very personable and engaging, and they don't go too far, so they don't get in your business, but they're very personal and professional, and they present themselves well, and they're usually articulate, and they're usually dead serious about their profession. So it's sad that they sent out this horrible letter, Carnival Corporation sent out this disgusting letter to the passengers that booked this drag queen cruise, saying that not only do you have, that we're a family-oriented business, blah, 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 and that's bad enough. But then to say, you can't dress in drag for your drag queen cruise unless you're one of the drag queens performing, etc., etc., etc. Now, when you get a bunch of drag fans or drag wannabes together on a cruise, they're going to want to dress up, and they're going to want to go see their favorite star, and they're going to want to say, what do you think? What can I do better? How do I look? Give me some tips, something. That was what the whole experience was sold to be. It was a big fan package for the drag queens. And the drag queens knew that they were going to have little daughter drags running around, or granddaughter drags running around, trying to get their first tip from a professional female impersonator. And then to tell them now, just a few days before the cruise, oh no, you're not dressing up. No one's dressing up. And they'll only be dressing up at the closed events, that are specifically for this function and this cruise, and there'll be no other walking around in drag on this whole ship, period, even by the performers. How do you think that went over? Not too well. Now, Carnival came back later in the afternoon and wrote this disgusting apology letter, essentially saying this: it's that you can go ahead and dress and drag as long as you look like your official documents. Now, you see this? This is a red puff of hair, and the rest of my hair is shaved. I don't even look like my passport right now. Now, if I put on 30 pounds of pancake makeup and made my eyes like this, and I put on a hat, and I put on, E-cut boobs and big hip pads and high heels, I'd even look less like my official documentation. That's what drag is all about. But that was Carnival's apology, or if you don't like that, you can get a refund. Have a nice day. In other words, kiss our ass. And at first, I didn't know who to be more upset with. I didn't know if it was Alan Chuck, Travel.com, or Carnival Corp. But it has to be both of them. And the logo has to kind of be involved too. And I'll tell you why. Because their brand's on the line. RuPaul's brand's on the line. This does not look good for their fans. That's going to piss people off. Now, Alan Chuck, if they're supposedly a gay travel agent, should already have contacts with every major airline, every major cruise line, every major everything, and they should have contractual language in place when they purchase large blocks on a cruise ship, or let's say rent the entire cruise ship, that they don't do things like this. That they don't send out offensive things like this. So Alan Chuck failed to do their job. But worse, Carnival Corporation accepted large blocks of rooms from a, quote, drag queen cruise, and then says drag queens can't dress up as drag queens. Now, who at Carnival Corporation has their head that far up their ass? Seriously. I would really like to know. And I hope it was covered on Facebook, and I'm sure it's going to be covered on social media, but I hope it's picked up by regular media, because this is offensive. This is really, really, really offensive. This shows how little we've come and how little respect there is. Now, if you want to do business with the LGBT community and you want to take our dollars, but you don't want us to have a good time and you want us to act like Aunt Smyrna and Uncle Ned and their little nephew that came from the middle of Iowa on their very first cruise, and pretend like there's not other gay people there, or not be gay, or something like it's some kind of bad role model or some kind of evil thing, that's not wanting to do business with gay people. That's just rude. That's just offensive. And they don't deserve our business. And like I said, Carnival's a big company. Al and Chuck have already screwed themselves. They've done their customers a big disservice. They've done the gay community a big disservice by not doing their homework, crossing their T's and dotting their I's. But Carnival Corp is huge. So keep these in mind, my gay friends. Carnival, Holland America, Princess, Cunard, P&O, Seabourn, Iberio, Costa, all those cruise lines are owned by Carnival Corp. And if they're not that gay friendly on this one, they're not that gay friendly all the way around. And it's sad because I happen to know that they have gay employees. It must be humiliating for the employees too. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening to my rant.